Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's review, we're taking a look at the MessToys Ultimate Neighbor. It says 112 scale. Ultimate Neighbor, this is technically Superior Spider-Man. I know, I said I was done with Revoltech style things after I was kind of irritated with the last figure I got that had Revoltech style joints. That was pretty stiff, the Batman Beyond. But I do like Superior Spider-Man, and so far this looked to be like the only one we're getting with a ton of accessories. I was really interested in how those spider arms worked, so picked this guy up from AliExpress. On the back of the box, you see the back of the Superior Spider-Man suit. The side, nothing really, and then the front again is his chest emblem. So let's get this guy out of the packaging and take a closer look. So just to preface, I've never purchased a MessToys figure before, but I'm of course well familiar with the Revoltech style of joints. I'm still kind of confused why every company thinks this is the best way to make any type of figure when you can definitely get the same level of articulation without having to, resort to their weird joints and weird ways that things are cut. But I do think this guy looks really, really good. Like, this is very clean, very cool. I like how reflective the lenses are on the mask. Like, you can see it hitting the light there. Pretty accurate, I think. I also like the webs on the mask. They're not completely, like, clean. There's some places where they're, like, doubled up in design, and I suspect that that's, accurate to his actual design. The back spiders is really nice, shiny crimson red. The rest of the figure is matte. The gauntlets on his arms are silver. They look good. Insides of the hands are painted with the red, and you can see the hands even have claws, so that's cool too. Going down to the feet, black, and then red soles painted appropriately. So yeah, I think this guy aesthetic-wise looks awesome. The only thing that I would say sticks out is these red ball joints here that don't match the color of red of the suit. So if they could have matched that a little bit closer, it would have made him look a little bit nicer. But for articulation, he looks up a ton as expected for a Revoltech figure. So he can definitely do any kind of crazy wall crawling poses. Looking down, he looks down a ton as well. The neck is on a separate joint, so you can get that to move any which way. He does have head tilt, of course. The arms just naturally go up about that much. He does have a bicep swivel. So far, all the joints are feeling not super tight, so that's great, but they're not loose either. Double jointed elbows with that Revoltech joint. And then he does have wrist swivel and hinge, which is good. And then his chest does come together, so you can definitely get him to cross over his body with the butterfly joint there. And then from the back, that's what it looks like. And then moving it back a bit. That's how far you can move it back. And then you do get some rotation up top. And then leaning him all the way back. About that much. You can see they kind of continued that spider leg pattern up there, which is great. Crunching him forward, you get a lot. You can lean him a little bit side to side at the bottom. Have a little bit of tilt, or swivel, sorry. And then for the legs, they can split all the way out. That was pretty simple, no trouble there. He has a thigh swivel. You can kick forward about that much. Let me put this other leg down. Yeah, about that much. Double jointed knees on the Revoltech joint. Again, I hate this lip mechanism. I just think that's aesthetically ugly. Like, why would you ever do that? Even, with official Revoltechs. They can definitely do something with those knees. He does have shin articulation there. It goes up and down, and you can kind of wiggle it around. And then for the foot itself, can go down that much, up that much. Has really deep ankle pivot. And toe joints on these figures are always kind of hard to mess around with, but he does have a toe joint. It was just a little stuck. And it goes up and down and all around. So yeah, this guy has all the articulation you would want him to have. So you can definitely get him into, let's see if I can do like a hasty, pull that off, but you can see it's a ball joint in here. So if I can get him into some kind of like crouching pose. This diaper piece is not soft, so do keep that in mind. Let's see, this is like an awful pose just because of how quickly I'm doing it, but I guess we won't even make it a crouching pose. We'll just make it like a web swinging pose. So you can definitely get him into those sorts of poses. I think it looks good, regardless of all the weird, you know, just Revoltechiness of the figure. I think he can definitely get into whatever poses you want him to be in and look good while doing it. So let's take a look at some of the accessories that he comes with. So this guy comes with a ton of accessories. That was something I was excited about from the product listing, so that's another reason why I decided to pick him up. One of the accessories he comes with is like this half-mask Peter Parker face. Looks good. I always like half-mask face sculpts. The eyes are still shiny on this one. And they have a little bit of digital printing for the lips to give them some color. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. And then he comes with a whole head and neck sculpt for just Peter Parker unmasked, which I think looks really good. I'll have to test and see if this can just work on like a regular Mafex Spider-Man figure. So I can put this head sculpt on someone. That looks great. And then he does come with 2 of these same pure white webs. Has a little nub on here so you can attach it, but I think the sculpt is fine. People make their own custom webs all the time, so if you want to use those, you definitely can. He also comes with this little spider bot. It's silver and red. Has little black accents for the eyes. That's a pretty cool accessory. You don't get that really at all. And then for hands, he comes with a pair of these like clawing hands. All the claws are, you know, kind of pointy on there. Comes with a set of these splayed out hands or action pose hands. Looks really good. Comes with a pair of kind of relaxed hands, or you can use them for like maybe pointing at something or gently holding something. Comes with a pair of these really like, I mean, well, this one right here is kind of bent, but I feel like the fingers are kind of long and exaggerated on these web flipping hands. The other one looks like this, which these are pretty cool. He has a pair of really splayed out, kind of like wall crawling or like grasping hands. And then another pair of like wide palm grabbing or sticking onto something hands. So a giant slew of hands. Then he comes with this base, which just has the Superior Spider-Man logo on it. Then has a hole for the stand. On the back is just black plastic. Then we get into the second tray of items, which includes the articulated arms. Like this is like a metal bendable arm, which I think I'm going to use for other figures as well as the Spider-Man. And then you get this little clamp to like screw or put into the top here. Screw into the top so you can put this Spider-Man on there. The base itself has like a little place for you to screw this in, and then you can put the little clip itself on the end piece here and then hold them up utilizing that. And then he comes with these arms, so 4 different arms. They all have different articulation spots. Can they hold him up? I'm not sure. Definitely be careful with these. They seem like a lighter plastic, so you don't want these to break. This right here is pretty loose though, so it's just kind of coming undone, so I'd have to just squeeze that back together. At least attempt to squeeze it back together. I'll have to get some pliers before I put him in his back, but I'll show what that kind of looks like as well. And the final accessories, which I completely forgot, or maybe he doesn't, they just added in, but he does come with like web wings that you can put on him. Or maybe these aren't web wings. Maybe these are for when he's flipping webs and he can just shoot out like a smattering of web. Maybe that's what these are for, because I don't remember him having web wings, and these have like little peg holes on the end, so maybe that's what it's for. It's for shooting webs, not for splaying the, like, you know, flying or anything like that. But it's pretty cool. Yeah, so I like all of his accessories. I don't know what else I would have made him come with. Maybe some interchangeable eye pieces would have been good, because usually, you know, the Revoltech Spider-Man figures come with that. But let's move on to some size comparisons and then seeing what he looks like with these legs on. Just real quick before we jump into the size comparisons, here he is with the arms on his back. I think they look really cool, really nice, shiny, vibrant red. These are definitely not going to hold him up, so if you're planning on doing that, definitely use some kind of stand to kind of mimic that effect. But you can twist them around, they go every which way, they can come all the way around the front. Like, these are pretty cool. Definitely heat them up before you attach them, just to make sure nothing breaks or anything like that. But yeah, They plug in nicely and they look pretty cool. So very nice accessory. And for size comparison, here he is standing up against the Scarlet Spider Mafex and then the Peter B. Parker Mafex with his, I guess, civilian clothes on. They stand about the same height, so you can definitely mix and match with the Mafex line. And just to see the head swaps real quick, let me bring that out. I'll try it first on this one. I think for the majority of it, these are pretty much the same. So no, it's too big for Mafex Peter B. Parker. And I don't know if these are even any different. I think they're pretty much the same. And yeah, this head sculpt is too big for the Scarlet Spider as well, which I assume would apply to this Peter Parker head sculpt because it's all the same peg. But yeah, definitely too big. And even the head sculpt in general just seems kind of too big for the body a little bit. So yeah, I don't know how that would even look. But we can try it on some Revoltech figures next. And then here he is standing next to Revoltech Venom, and then this is the CT Toys Agent Anti-Venom, and again, they stand pretty much the same height. Actually, the Superior Spider-Man version looks to be a little bit taller than these guys, and if you wanted to do a head swap, I'll take the CT Toys first, just because that's another third-party figure. Let's see if I can put this on there. You can put this Peter Parker head on there, but it does look kind of silly. And you can even put the half-masked Peter Parker or Superior Spider-Man head on there as well. But again, it won't really match up. But as you can see, you know, these two kind of have a similar finish. The gloss of the lenses is pretty similar too, which I think is pretty cool. So these third-party companies are really, you know, showing us what they got when it comes to making, you know, their own action figures, which I think is pretty sweet. Definitely cool to add to your collection. And then here he is standing next to the Jada Toys DJ and the Jada Toys Cammy. If you wanted to do some Marvel vs. Capcom crossovers, he would definitely stand nicely with these guys. And last but not least, if you want to have him in your Marvel Legends line, here he is standing next to the animated series Spider-Man and a Marvel Comics Iron Man. I think he stands nicely with them. He stands a little bit taller than this animated series Spider-Man, but I know we have a ton of Spider-Man to put him up against, so you could definitely mix and match and do some Spider-Verse stuff, or just have him replace your Marvel Legends Superior Spider-Man. But yeah, they would look great. So for my final thoughts, as a person who is not thrilled with owning Revoltech figures as of late, this one is definitely very fun. It's very fun to pose. All the joints are pretty smooth. I love the accessories. The base is really cool. I wish more people, more companies gave us these bases with the the arms that kind of can do whatever you want them to do. That's very nice. The paint and the sculpt of the figure is very, very good. Never had a MessToys figure before. I know their first one was just the black suit Spider-Man, so you can't really mess that up. But seeing them being able to do more sculpting and paint on a figure, brand new, all theirs, I think is very, very cool. Well, at least I hope it's all theirs. I hope they didn't plagiarize someone's work in order to get this done, besides, you know, the Revoltech articulation bits. But yeah, very good figure. I definitely recommend you guys pick them up if you're interested. Again, I got mine on AliExpress. I think it was from El Surprise Toy Store that I got mine from. I'll have to double check that though. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to buy them. But yeah, definitely cool, definitely worth checking out, and happy to have them in my collection. Also, yep, these webs do go in his hands. There's little holes in the web shooting hands just for these, so and the other web, of course. But yeah, very, very cool. Glad to have it. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you going to pick this guy up? Are you waiting for like an official Spider-Man release from either Revoltech or Mafex or even Mezco? If you are, awesome. Let me know down in the comments below. But again, as always, guys, take care. Have a great rest of your day. And thanks for watching.